Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and welcome to Tales with TR episode 214A. Wow. I'm your host, Terry Ryan Jr. It's good to be with you. Thanks to Chris Nyland and friends at the Liam Foundation Golf Tourney. Golf charity fundraiser is more appropriate. In Montreal, Quebec on Monday. Great time, good people. We raised a lot of money for the Liam Foundation. Mitochondrosis disease. I think it's called. I think I'm pronouncing it wrong as well. Check it out, the Liam Foundation. Liam's a kid that became near and dear to Chris Nyland's heart, and therefore all of us, but Chris became friends with him and his family. And he's one of only like a handful of people in the world with this disease. So Chris has been raising money for a few years. I bought a hoodie a few years back. So I guess at least 3 years. And anyway, like the kid has come and has improved. I don't want to say leaps and bounds, but has improved. Couldn't walk, very debilitating disease. And he was walking at this event just as a result of the money that's been raised so far. And we raised, I think, almost 150,000 just that like afternoon, outside of the online stuff or anything. We had a silent auction, and it was fantastic. And it was, nice to do it with a bunch of Montreal Canadiens legends and pro hockey legends, some good buddies that I see a lot, Andre Waugh. And I see Patrice Brisebois, who's an old teammate, was there. See him quite a bit nowadays. Knuckles Nyland, I'll see him tomorrow in PEI. Guys I hadn't really met, but we're excited to meet for the first time. Our Arbor's Jacques guy, you know him as Wi-Fi. His brother is also drafted the Habs, was there. Larry Robinson was there. Guy Carbonneau. I mean, no fluke that we raised so much money, because a lot of hockey fans in the area, this was their dream to meet these people and to share an afternoon of golf and good conversation and fundraising. So thanks. And by the way, I'll be in Prince Edward Island tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, for the Boys and Girls Club golf tourney. That'll be fun. I'll be there. As far as Shoresy goes, Tassia Tellis, who I don't normally see at these things, she'll be there, plays Nat. So will Dolo and Goody, Andrew Ansonen and Joe Dolo, or Jonathan Diaby. So I'm really looking forward to that. Check my Instagram stories for more info. Okay, so a few of you had some All-Star Game questions. Not that this is an MLB podcast, but usually on these episodes, especially in these dog days of summer, there's not much going on. But and if you think about it, that's got to be the slowest sports day of the year, the MLB All-Star Game, because there's really nothing. There's no hockey, basketball, soccer, or, well, there's baseball, the All-Star Game. But it's the All-Star Game. Now, that being said, okay, so there was just a bunch of questions that came through on either Twitter or were brought up on the my spot on the Jason Greger show. Some of you I met at the golf tournament in Montreal, specifically Peter and Rick, and we were talking about these things. So through every avenue, through social media, through friends and family, and through the people I was golfing with last weekend, a lot of baseball questions came up. I'll limit it to All-Star Game stuff because it's relevant. And these are just some of my thoughts. So some of you guys generally wanted to know what I thought of the MLB All-Star Game. Now, of the All-Star Games, I think this is the closest, this is the truest to form. Right? Would you believe me there? I mean, would you believe me? Would you? Most of you, I mean, think about the Pro Bowl in football. Think about the hockey All-Star Game, which is completely wacky if you were to compare it to regular season. Basketball, absolutely nobody's trying whatsoever. They're not. I mean, if you think the hockey guys aren't trying, this is comical. Well, it's all comical. Anyway, so I don't think football, baseball, or hockey are even close to a regular season, the way the game is normally played. But I think baseball is, right? Pitchers are still throwing it 100. They're throwing it what they can. Was it Mason Miller, I think, threw it 100 and almost 103 miles an hour. Paul Skeens, rookie phenom. Was excited to see him play. His first All-Star game. This guy is a phenom. Look him up if you don't know what I'm talking about. And he's thrown it. He's a starting pitcher that throws it up over 100. I mean, and they're doing it. They're chucking it, right? Trey Turner. Watch a play he makes, I think, in the first or second inning, but he dives to prevent a ground ball up the middle, right? So it's still not regular season, but they're putting their body on the line. I really like that about the baseball All-Star game. Like, I'm not a pure traditionalist, but baseball, I tend to lean that way. It's been so good for so long, and the dimensions have stayed similar or the same. Just think about all the things that have stayed the same with baseball over such a long period of time, right? Very, very unique sport. Yet you can put your outfield wherever you want. I always found that you can just make so I think in the NHL it has to be a certain size, right? You can't just say we're going to play with Olympic size rinks here. It has to be a size. NBA, I'm pretty certain that's the way it is. Football for sure. I mean, literally, plays of the game are suggested, talked about, and referred to by literal number of yards. But baseball, you can do what you want. Is it Texas or Houston? They have like a ramp in the outfield. Like, you're going, there's an incline, not a ramp, an incline, close to the fence in one area. I mean, you can put, I really would like to know, there must be maximum and minimal measurements, requirements. But you check it out, man. Boston fucking 100 years ago just said, fuck it, we're building a green monster. And it's going to be short in the outfield, but we'll build it fucking 50, 60 feet high. What are you going to do about it? And that's allowed, right? So and that must produce. I mean, it's one thing for home runs, but I never really thought about it because it's my favorite spot to watch any sporting event in the world. My favorite spot to have a beer, to watch a sporting event, to converse with sports fans is Fenway Park. And I love sitting in the outfield. But if you think about it, a lot of the green monster's huge, being the fence in Fenway Park, if you don't know what I'm talking about. And, a lot must hit and land for long singles, doubles, even sometimes triples that would be caught, right? I mean, that's obvious, I suppose. But you could say that about anywhere. You could say Colorado, well, the air is thinner and the ball travels further. But anyway, outside of the crazy dimensions that you can make your outfield in baseball, it's very the same distance from mound to home plate, and the bases. Last year they changed, I believe, either the size of the base or maybe, yeah, I think first to second. I forget the difference. Anyway, it's a matter of inches, and it might have gone back to the way it used to be or whatever it was, but there's been minor changes. But if you really think about it, the infield, the outfield, meaning the third base, first base lines, have stayed the same. 3 strikes, 4 balls. Again, there's been tweaks. I don't love that in extra innings now you get to have a guy on second base to speed it up, because I liked games going into the 20, 25 innings once in a while, not 25, but, games would go 15, 20 innings, the odd time. But I also see how that's really wearing people down. And there's really no need to have a regular season game that goes 25 fucking innings. But anyway, like I said, I love the tradition part of baseball, and I think they've kept that somewhat professional when it comes to the All-Star game. And the players don't have to dive for those balls. They don't have to throw at 100 miles an hour. Judge doesn't, or I think, Ohtani hit a home run. If you don't know, I'm talking about Shohei Ohtani, one of the best players ever in the game, really, if you think about it, but certainly now, and one of the most publicized players for sure. Can pitch, can hit, can do it all. And he's taken this year off of pitching and still hitting it. I think he's got almost 30 home runs and just hit a shot in the All-Star game. These guys don't have to swing hard. They don't have to pitch hard. They don't have to dive. They don't have. And there's a couple of times, base running, slides. And that's what I love about it, okay? I do. I really do. The other thing, baseball can have, I think, people can change a swing, and it's a game of inches. I know you could say that about every sport, but it really is a game of inches. So you see a lot of players. I talked with my dad on here about a guy named R.A. Dickey, knuckleball thrower. Well, R.A. Dickey was, he wasn't always a knuckleball thrower. He was anything. I think he had 3 pitches. He had his fastball, he had his curveball, and I think maybe a slider. And, it didn't work out for him. I forget why. I know he pitched in the majors not being a knuckleballer, but when he learned how to be a knuckleball pitcher, right, he thrived on that. And he pitched for multiple years as one of the number 1 pitchers, made a good contract, and was fairly successful throwing the knuckleball. Definitely made his way into the All-Star game that way. Some hitters, maybe they just need to choke up a little bit. Maybe they get a new hitting coach, and all of a sudden, right where they were missing it by an inch, now they're hitting the ball. Maybe they learn to play small ball a little bit more, bunt, go for singles rather than home runs, and everybody's a home run hitter in the majors. Some people get way better defensively, and you can't deny that, and it maybe it gives them a bump onto the All-Star team. So I just find, I'm getting to something here. What I find unique about baseball, on the topic 2 here, is that, I had to look. Jurickson, is it Jurickson Profar? Now, I'd heard of him. I didn't realize he was an All-Star this year. He plays in San Diego, is kind of out of sight, out of mind. He's like 31. I heard his name before. Well, I don't even know how to pronounce it. So, I heard it is a misstatement. I've seen it because I go to do those baseball pools here and there, right? So I generally know players that have been in the majors for any significant time. But this guy wasn't. I looked, and I had to look at his DB and go, like, how did I miss this guy? Again, I read his name somewhere. Well, yeah, he's got a history. He was a big pick. Never really clung, certainly not to this level. Playing in San Diego this year, knocking the cover off the ball. He's like 30, 31, makes the All-Star team, right? Jaron, is it Doran, the All-Star game MVP, plays with Boston. Of course, he's in the Jays division, so I'd heard of him, but not much. And seen him this year. But sure enough, last year he's on the fucking Worcester Wizards or some shit, right? He's in AAA. Guys that, all of a sudden just they're all-stars, and then they might make it in their 30s and be good for 3 or 4 years. Meanwhile, the last few years before that, they're playing for the fucking Beaverbrook Barons and somewhere in Iowa. It's fascinating to me. And that happens more in baseball, I find, than the other sports. And I think it's because of the way that you can tweak your game. It's a game of inches, and you can tweak it. And, those subtle little changes help you in a huge way. Whereas the other sports, you're always improving, I'm sure, and you're improving your shot, and you're improving. And in hockey, and you're getting stronger and definitely more hockey specific and those things. But, rare do you just go from missing the net every time to putting it bar down every time, right? In baseball, someone can change their swing, the dynamic of it. You don't really change your dynamic. I remember even skating. I needed to work on my skating. I did, but it was hard to change my natural style because once you got it. Shooting, I can change certain things, but the natural, just the way my body flows, it's hard. But in baseball, I found, again, I had to tweak my swing, not for the majors, for fucking local AAA, local fucking senior baseball. But again, I could tweak my swing and go, okay, I'm on a run here. Something is, I could significantly see a difference just changing one little thing about my stance. And, I'm not saying like everybody might, in golf or in baseball, you might say, don't take your head off the ball. Okay. So there's that. There's like listening to the coach and don't take your head off. But I mean, in specific ways, the way your whole approach the dynamic of your swing, the posturing of it all. Keep your elbow a little bit up. Okay, now Terry, maybe your feet closer together. Some people need to get set. They wait for the pitch to start winding up, and then they get set, right? It's little things, but they're subtle, and in baseball, they can make a world of difference. If you need more proof, if you're a Jays fan, in 15 or 16, I think they went, they made the playoffs. They didn't win the World Series, but it was an entertaining year to say the least. Jose Bautista hit a shot, that bat flip or whatever. But Encarnacion, another guy on that team, they came into their own late in their careers. Bautista came to the Jays, I believe, for like next to nothing. Now, he was a major leaguer, but he just changed a few little things and became fucking honored Blue Jays all-time deck, Jose Bautista, perennial all-star after that.
Bet the action on the ice with DraftKings Sportsbook. With DraftKings, you can bet on any game you want. Whether you want to bet the puck line or the over-under, DraftKings has something for everybody. And if you want, you can throw down on your favorite player as an anytime goal scorer. Or if you're looking for a long-term bet, maybe you want to predict the Stanley Cup champion. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use promo code THPN. New customers get $150 instantly in bonus bets for betting just $5 on hockey. That's promo code THPN, as in the Hockey Podcast Network, only on DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER, or in West Virginia, visit www.1800gambler.net. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. That's 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas. 21 plus, age varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. See dkng.co/ice for eligibility, wagering, and deposit restrictions, terms, and responsible gambling resources. Copyright NHL 2024, all rights reserved. This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. Do you tend to compare your life to others? Does social media play a part in that? What do you do when you get caught up wishing your life looked like somebody else's? Comparison is the thief of joy, and it can be easy to envy other people's lives. It might look like they have it all together on their Instagram, but in reality, they probably don't. Therapy can help you focus on what you want instead of what others have, so you can start living your best life. BetterHelp isn't just for people who have experienced major trauma. It can be helpful for learning positive coping skills, how to set boundaries, or just empower you to be the best version of yourself. If you're thinking of starting therapy, why not give BetterHelp a try? BetterHelp is entirely online, so it's designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Plus, it's easy to get started. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist. And if it's not the right fit, you can switch therapists at any time for no additional charge, no hassle, nothing. So stop comparing and start focusing with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/THPN today to get 10% off of your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/THPN.
So anyway, I find that wild. And there's another guy. This pitcher was lights out, Shohei Managa. And I never heard of this guy. And, he's out there. I'm going, fuck, I don't watch baseball like hockey, but I do watch a lot of it. And there's more players that are interchangeable as well. Sometimes somebody that's a bullpen pitcher that might be lights out. I mean, I don't really know. If I don't watch these, Milwaukee somewhere out of sight, out of mind, I don't watch all the games, then, I can see how they'll get lost. But I just find it happens in baseball more than anything. And another Jays fans, another funny observation from the game I found is that, you're seeing guys, Marcus Semien and Teoscar Hernandez, who won the home run derby. Just two of them. And there's more players that have been drafted or been on the Jays, but it just, as we're sitting here for the Jays, Jays need some power from the right side. They had Hernandez like 2 years ago. Maybe it's 3, my memory, but it's 2 or 3, very recently. And you had to watch him down there just ripping it up with another team. Marcus Semien, I think it was only 2 years ago. And, he's still a all-star caliber player, and the Jays could use both of them right now. Anyway, of course, coulda, shoulda, woulda. But, I love the MLB All-Star game. And not. I think the biggest reason would be what I said first, is that they actually try and are professional about it, and everybody from the fans to the management to the players, I think, take it more seriously than every other All-Star game. And when I say more seriously, I mean my favorite All-Star games, MLB number one. God, where would I go after that? I suppose you'd have to say hockey, just because I'm interested in the players. But it's a distant two. It's like when Wayne Gretzky or Mario Lemieux used to win the scoring, and whoever was number 2 or 3, like whatever, if they were playing at the same time, Yzerman would be like third place, but he'd be like 60 points behind, like a good regular person's stats behind them. That's how far. It's even more than that out ahead, to me, the MLB All-Star game is. But there is certainly not much happening other than soccer. Many of you will call it football, and that ended last week. And usually there's nothing even close going on. But I suppose we do have that. We've got some interesting WNBA action. There's golf, of course. But some of you asked as well, what do you think of this time of year? Is it the slowest? And I think, yes, it is the slowest because of those things. There are stories, but if you'll notice, most sportscasters, podcasters, near and far, no matter where the fuck you are, if you watch professional sports and you listen to podcasts, your favorite podcasters or sportscasters are probably taking this time off because there's very little happening. So listen, I will, sorry, I had to take a break there. I don't have much else to say about the All-Star game, okay? There was a few of you that had other questions, and I will get to one of those first. Okay. Again, if you want to talk more baseball, I'm game. Those are my main takeaways from the All-Star game. Okay, here we go. I got a lot of these. So on a lot of other shows, I listen to Overdrive a lot, and there's a section called Dear Hazy B. Okay, and it's kind of like Dear Abby. And then I was listening to a couple. I try to listen to as many different opinions and points of view as I can. The same thing in politics, in regular news, and in podcasting. So there's a few I always listen to, but I pepper the rest of my time in with podcasts that I might go to once every month or two, like Jeremy Roenick's or his Snipes and Stars or whatever, Timmy Peel. Or like, I don't know, TSN, say Winnipeg or whatever. I will go all over the place, but or Sportsnet or what have you. But I noticed that a lot of other places are doing that. So I'm not trying to copy. I think more than anything, my listening audience probably listens to those as well. So questions for me used to be, hey, Terry, like, what was your favorite stick growing up or whatever? But now I'm getting these like ponderables, these Dear Abby type things. Okay. So I have so many that I can only get to a few here. But I'm going to answer one now, and then I'll answer the rest in, what I have here in my next episode, 214B. Yeah, we're not going to have a guest this week. I got too much going on. Okay. Hey, TR, my girlfriend wants to go on a trip. She wants to go to Hawaii. As we were booking tickets, she says her hot friend Samantha just broke up with her boyfriend and wants to come. The next day, Samantha DM'd me and said she's looking forward to the trip. Have I been working on my beach body yet? Laugh emoji, muscle emoji. Side note, I don't know Samantha well. I've only met her once. Should I get back to her? What do I do? Kyle in Alberta. Okay. I'm the last person you want to ask because it depends. How long have you been going out with your girlfriend? Are you guys stale? Are you You know what I mean? Because if you are, that's dangerous. And maybe you want it to be dangerous. Maybe you like Sam and she likes you and you should ditch your girlfriend. I really don't know. There's not enough information. If your girlfriend is your girlfriend for a good reason and you love your girlfriend and you want to stay with your girlfriend, and that's your number one goal, I would just tell my girlfriend first. I would. And I would talk to Sam. Like, honesty is a policy, right? Like, you can use, like, there's something to be said for honesty. Because I find, first of all, you're assuming maybe Samantha just is serious. Hey, I'm looking forward to coming with my best girlfriend, and I don't even know that much. Is she best friend? Is she just a random friend? And I, maybe she's getting you for that reason. I know lots of girls that are like buddies, wives, or girlfriends that would send me that message if three of us went on a trip, and I'd think nothing of it. I can also think of equally as many or more that it would be like, okay, you're flirting with me or you want to bang. So I think if this is it, I think you're being presumptuous so far if it's just this. Now, it could lead somewhere, but again, I'm reading this. Yeah, it's suggestive if you want it to be. And, get back to her and then you'll see. I'm not sure. What about you? Now, if she said something sexual or whatever, I don't know. Do you want it to go there? Because if not, I would just tell my girlfriend. I don't know how much of a friend is this. Now, don't cut Samantha's throat and do it right away, but I would just get back to Samantha somehow. You don't have to be, Samantha, are you flirting with me? It would be too obvious, and you're jumping to conclusions, and that could send her in the wrong direction and set, but get back to her with something half suggestive. I don't know. No, suggestive is the wrong word. I don't know. Get back to her, and then I would mention somehow, not sure if, Tanya, whatever your girlfriend's name is, not sure if she'd appreciate this. And then you'll find out. And then Samantha will say, hey, I was only being nice, or maybe we don't need to tell her. And if it's maybe we don't need to tell her, then you know exactly what can of worms you're opening. Dude, I've been in a situation that I've been with girlfriends that I probably wasn't going to be with, and their friends, if they approach me like that, I would think about it. If you actually want to keep your girlfriend, I would say fucking be honest with her. Fuck Samantha, because that's a third wheel you don't want around. And it's Hawaii. It's not like you're driving down the street to the Calgary Stampede. Honestly, I think this is bad news. It's intriguing because I'm reading it and it feels like a penthouse letter or something. And I want to see what happens with you and Samantha. But from a regular perspective, I think this is poison. I think it's dynamite. Oh, in a bad way. It's going to blow up. I really do. Now, maybe. Here's another thing. There's not enough information. Maybe your girlfriend kind of likes this girl. Maybe she wants to have a threesome. That's why I think you need to talk to your girl about this. And not like tattletale. To your girl, you say, where are you going with this? Because if you're bringing Sam, and she just went through a rough time, and, you and I are going to be there, and Sam's good looking, and I just got to be honest with you, like threesomes happen, and is that what you're suggesting? Because, maybe have a glass of wine with her, and there's ways to bring it up. And the same thing with Samantha. If you want to separately say with her, just say what I said earlier. Listen, like, what do you, it's probably not going to be good if Tanya finds out about this, whatever her name is. And then Sam will get back to you and let you know right away. I don't know enough about this. What I honestly think? My instinct says that if your girlfriend is bringing this up, she's probably into a threesome. And Samantha is warming you up by sending you that. The other thing is, the last thing I'll say, you could be being set up. So I would just, honesty is the best issue here, best policy here. I really do think so. I've made the mistake in my life where I haven't gone with honesty, and I don't see how it's going to hurt you here. Right? Honesty is either going to get you a threesome or keep you with your girlfriend, and that's what you want. Right? If it's Samantha you want, you got a whole new can of worms on your plate. Anyway, I hope that helps. Very broken advice, but you know what I'm saying. Be honest. Start with your girlfriend. Okay, folks. This has been Tales with TR episode 214A. If you're downtown St. John's, you want to have a beer, why not go to the Bull and Barrel, Trinity Pub, TJ's Pub, Rob Roy Confusion, the Martini Bar, or Greensleeves? You want to have a bite to eat? Check out Blue on Water. Check out Loose Tie. Check out Wedgwood Cafe. Also do catering. Peter Wedgwood, Wedgwood Cafe. If you want to work out, strength and balance for the body and mind, power conditioning on Rope Walk Lane. If you want to go to Mr. Lube and avail in any of their services, there's 2 locations here in St. John's, Newfoundland and Labrador. Torbay Road, Cameron Road. Live, laugh, lube. Pitbull Pain Relief. Pain sticks that just don't quit. Go to pitbullpainrelief.com. See what all the fuss is about. Mugsy Jeans. I love my Mugsy Jeans. Perfect comfort, perfect fit, perfect stretch. Go to mugsyjeans.com. Check it out. And of course, Pitbull Pain Relief. Pain sticks that just don't quit. Go to pitbullpainrelief.com. See what all the fuss is about. True Hockey, take what's yours, folks. We'll be back in just a few days, few hours, really, with episode 214B. See you in PEI this weekend, folks. Catch you on the rebound.